All right. Good evening, everyone. I am super excited and fired up to be here this evening with everyone for this Vision Mastery Sunday conversation. Now, I am not your presenter, excuse me, but I have the pleasure of bringing up the presenter. Ladies and gentlemen, this man has been a friend, a business partner for over 10 years. I was connected to him by watching one of his conversations just like this over 10 years ago. He is a phenomenal leader, mentor, but what's really important, guys, is he's a papa, he's a husband, he's a father. He has a huge heart, and his heart is to help people live the lives that we have that is our birthright. Now, not only is this gentleman, Mr. Jason L. Scott, the first, he is a retired Army paratrooper. All right, so that holds a special place in my family's heart because we are military as well. So I hope you're ready to receive these amazing nuggets, wisdom that he is going to impart. Because something that I've learned from Mr. Jason L. Scott is that mentorship is wisdom without waiting. All right, so you ain't got to go through the muck and the buck. You can grab some nuggets from someone who's already gone through it. So without further ado, Mr. Jason L. Scott, the first, are you on the line, sir?
Yes, young lady, I'm absolutely in line. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Oh, make sure. Can you guys hear me, see me? Yes? Anybody? Everybody, if you can, nod your head. Okay, good stuff. Maybe, maybe Coach AV couldn't. Excellent, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome to each and every one of you guys who logged on to this Sunday Night Vision Mastery Call. And of course, you guys know we do this call each and every Sunday night and have been doing it for well over a decade. With very minimal breaks in between when life shows up and certain things was going on, transitions was happening, but very seldom were we not doing this call because this call has been about personal growth and personal development for a long time. Not, I mean, well over a decade, close to 2 decades, or maybe about 15 years that I actually doing a call, 10 years directly connected in this space, guys. So anyway, guys, welcome to each and every one of you guys, and I appreciate you, Miss AB. You know what I'm saying, for being a phenomenal coach and mentor and leader yourself. You do such an amazing job. Actually introducing and coaching and not just the introduction, but leading tons of people. You have your own business, you have your own clothing line. So you are a person of wisdom yourself. So that means when people actually want to learn how they can actually start their own business, and that's outside of this particular medium that a lot of that we all share in. They want to know how they can start their own clothing line. You can do a training on that yourself. You can do a whole YouTube series on how to make those things happen. So thank you so much for that. And yes, guys, we had an amazing time in Savannah, Georgia for over the weekend. So thank you, Mr. Said, I'm saying, and Sean, and of course, Coach E for putting things together. Nisha, it was just an amazing time that we had there. Of course, I had time to spend some time with Sean and his wife and had some great conversations with the group and great conversations with the individuals. We had a chance to go out and eat and break bread, as we say. And in the process of doing that, we actually had guests that came through and they were absolutely impressed by how we were connecting as a people, and just showing people how, if you really want to be in a better space in your life, you really want to get to the point to where you want change, you have to change your coaches. If you want change in your life, you have to change your coaches. All right. And the question you got to ask yourself is, who do I listen to and who am I influenced by? Because it's the nature of your surroundings that will bleed into you and come out in like kind. That means you not only are what you eat, you also are who you hang around. So you have a chance to be around successful people. You can have successful thoughts. Be around people always about negativity and constant bickering and conflict, then you're going to be a person in that same space. So I want to make sure that each and every one of you guys on this call, I just want to say congratulations for showing up on this Sunday Night Vision Mastery Call as well. But guys, my name is Jason L. Scott the first, originally from the projects of the Bronx, New York, and all my life, like everybody else, I've always believed that I was truly destined for something great, to have a high school diploma, no degree of any type, but been able to earn some amazing income working for myself, working from home, because I've been mentored by people who have done it. And the thing about this Sunday Night Vision Mastery Call, the reason why we do this call, guys, because in order to evolve, you have to first get involved. And we get involved so heavily into personal development to help build build those levels of resiliency. And I want to have that conversation with you guys tonight because I know when it comes to resiliency, a lot of people don't quite understand what it is and how you can actually build resiliency, in your brain and actually have, strengthen your, change your habits and things like that. Because a lot of things that we do it because of the habits that we have formed. And if you start, sticking to these bad habits, you start having bad results. And I've discovered over the years that, guys, that everything builds a pattern, right? There's a pattern in success. There's a pattern also that comes from failure. And when you allow yourself to get hooked on these patterns and not willing to change, whether you were looking to change for the better, all right, if you're not looking to be in that space, you're going to find that those same patterns start to repeat themselves. And I found that being a person like myself who has been challenged with memory, focus, other things like that. Some people call it ADHD, things like that. I had to find skill sets and ways that as I build resiliency, as I actually focus in on how I can grow myself and stay focused, I had to learn certain ways of how I can override those bad habits. So I'm going to ask you today, I want you to write this down. Do you have the heart of a champion or do you have the heart of a runner up? Or do you have a heart of a champion or do you have the heart of a runner up? See, because a lot of times right now, guys, many of us, like many of you guys are winning, right? Some of you guys have performed tasks, and as people see you performing tasks and they see that you're starting to win in those tasks, it's funny how the first win, people like to congratulate you. Oh my God, you're doing amazing, yo! Yo, son, yo, you doing great things, yo, girl, yo, mama, yo, queen, tilt your head, get your ground right. All the things that we say, right? When people see that you start having your first win. But when you have your first win as a champion, all right, and you start seeing that other people that's watching you in your movement of being a champion, when you start having repeated wins, a lot of times those people that been watching you, sometimes you're going to inspire some people, and other people are going to be aggravated with your success. They're going to be so aggravated with your success and your sustained favor and your resiliency and your ability to bounce back and all these blessings that seem to compile on your life. They start to get aggravated. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, right? I don't like to use. I know some people want to call a lot of times AB. They'll be like, just haters. I don't want to always talk about it, but we always know there's people on the sideline said they watching you, and they watching, they hoping there's something about what you have going on. It creates some type of downfall. So real. All right. And because most people, guys, they stay so focused in on that every time you start to win, it just makes them feel uncomfortable. And they just don't like it. And when they don't like it, guys, most people, if you understand what I'm saying, to get to that point, it really takes a level of a champion and not a runner up. The reason why I say runner up is because there's videos, and you can watch them on YouTube. And I was going to pull one up. I was going to actually pull it up, right? There's a video that I've seen on YouTube, right? It was people that was racing, Katrina. It was racing, Corey. You heard me probably tell a story before, Corey. They were racing, right? And matter of fact, AB, I think you might remember it before as well. There was a video where people were racing, and it was several other videos. One, it was a guy doing it. Another one was a woman doing it. But I remember they was running. This guy was running. It was like a whole sprinting, people sprinting. And as they was getting close to the finish line, Rebecca, the guy that was in second place, that was the runner up, he was coming up so fast that he passed the person that was in first place. And as he passed the person that was in first place, the person got so mad, he smacked him. I'm like, how are you going to be in a race and you smack somebody in the back of their head because they're winning? Because they overtook they overtook you, Katrina. And that just shows you. That's why I said you have the heart of a champion. Or do you have the heart of a runner up? You have the heart of somebody that when somebody surpasses you or moves forward, do you find yourself, you get repulsed by their success, their constant winning, the fact that they keep on going, the fact that they keep showing up. Are you that person yourself that when you're watching other people and you're seeing other people winning, you start to get mad and get angry? And this is the deal. like I was with Said and Sean over the weekend, and Sean said, he said, you know what? He said, sometimes when I get mad, I really get busy. I'm like, yo, it's good when you can get upset and get busy. There's nothing wrong with that. You got to get upset at yourself and get upset in your own circumstance, not upset at other people, upset at your own circumstances. Now, if you do get upset with other people, you be like, yo, I'm gonna show you I am more. I am gonna show you that I am a champion. But the thing about a champion is not what you do when people see you, is what you're doing when people don't see you. The champion is a person when they get up at 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the morning, and they're up cracking eggs and eating, drinking raw eggs, and they're out running, and they're hitting the bags, and they're working out, and they're doing a bunch of things that people don't see behind the scenes. See, they see you in the ring when you're in the ring and you ducking and diving and you doing your stuff and you move, sticking and moving. They see you in the ring when you looking good in the space. Oh my God, they see when you're doing your stuff in the ring. They, oh my God, he's a champion. But what they don't see is your preparation for that. What they don't see is what you're doing behind the scenes. What they don't see is when you ran so hard that you yourself you throwing up and your body's hurting and you're in pain and there might be an ice baths and all. They don't see that part. So the thing is this: a lot of you, as you're in this space, Katrina, for building your resiliency, people all the time they always say that, like people say they want to be a millionaire, but the things that we do, Said, the things that we do, Rebecca, the things that we do, Coach AB, the things that we do, Catherine, things that we do, Corey, a lot of things that we do, because most people have never seen they may see them on TV, but they may see millionaires, but a lot of time most people don't know one personally. I'm not so much somebody who they may know them from watching videos and things. I'm like that they don't know them personally. And because they don't know them personally, they don't really recognize, they've never really seen a millionaire, Sean, in his motion. So therefore, they don't know what it looks like. And because they don't know what it looks like, it looks uncanny. And because it looks uncanny to them, it can make them feel some type of way. Now, the funny thing is this, Rebecca, when you make it, those same people who was hating on you, the same ones that when you pass them up, they want to slap you in the back of your neck and all this other stuff. Later on, now when everybody's around, they go, oh, listen, I always knew you was a boss, Trina. Girl, I knew you had it in you, Coach AB. Rebecca, I always, listen, my girl, Rebecca, I always knew she was going to be on the backside. That's what they do a lot of the time after. Because when you're in your space for becoming a millionaire, when you're in your space of working and building and doing all these things behind the scenes, the resiliency that it takes for you to build that is uncanny to some people who don't have the resiliency. But there's things that happens, guys, that when people are actually building it up, when they building themselves up and they're building that resiliency, there's things that I want you to think about, all right? And I want you to expand upon it in this way. We have to have resiliency, and we have to overcome these habits, these bad habits that we may have. And many times these bad habits that we have gotten us the results. Like Einstein said, the thinking that you've been using thus far has created some situations and challenges and problems that this thinking can't solve. That means if this thinking that you have been using, the ones that people like to say, well, I do it on my own. I do everything on my own, but you haven't recognized everything you've been doing on your own has the results that you're doing, that you've been showing up in your life with. And if you're not happy with your results, then you have to change your coaches, change your habits, change the things that you're doing. But you also have to understand that we have to really focus in on building that resiliency. And because I want this vision mastery to be about that you understand there's ways of how you can build towards that you can focus in and you can remember, because even in that process of building towards the resiliency, you got to understand it becomes a habit. It becomes so much of a habit when you build, when you keep coming back, you keep bouncing back. Like myself, I've bounced back so many times over the years that no matter what shows up, no matter what comes up, no matter how far things can fall apart, because I've been able to bounce back. In my mindset, I always believe, I'm like, it's going to work itself out, because I've seen it happen too many times for it to be a fluke, for it to be happenstance. It's a reality that I know for a fact that things are going to work themselves out. Now, trust me, it don't mean that when life gets in the way, when things start to happen for you, when things start to happen to you. Let me say it that way, because we don't always look at things happening for us. We're looking at things happening to us. But the things that's happening to you are really happening for you in order for you to be able to grow and expand and build your resiliency. So one, write this down. I want you to always focus on mindfulness and self-awareness. I want you to focus to help you build your resiliency and in your brain and focus on these things. I want you to actually focus on your mindfulness and self-awareness. And when you practice regularly and engage in mindfulness, like meditation can help you with mindfulness. All it is just it's a way of bringing you. I tell you, as a coach, I focus in on a coach like ontologically, right? That means I teach people to be present in their moment where they are. And as I was over this weekend, I had times of when I was coaching this weekend with the group, but also I was coaching this weekend with individuals. And as I was coaching with individuals, I was able to give the individual what they need for them because each the group can hear what they hear as a group, but each person individually is going through something different. So because the quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you learn to ask, I started asking everyone questions that I feel are quality questions for me to get them to engage with me so I can be able so I can be able to be mindful in the moment, be present with them in the moment, not focus on everybody else, but to be present with them in the moment. All right. Because understand that when you start talking to people, people want to know that you really care about what they have going on. So when you start to practice regularly, when you start to practice and exercise, your meditation, deep breathing exercises. These things help you to be calm, to quiet all the extra noise, to get to focus in on yourself because we're in the day and age, guys. There's so many things that are happening so fast. We have so much information changing so fast that your brain can't even keep up with everything. It can't even keep up with most of the things. We're changing from task to task to task. That many tasks are not being completed. How many times have you said that you're going to complete a task, all right, and they don't get completed, Rebecca? And if you're a person who's been challenged with ADHD, Coach AB, it's even worse because we already are challenged with starting a task. And once you start the task, we be like something comes up and you get focused over here. Something comes up, you get focused over here. And once and whenever you lose your focus, like whenever you lose your focus, which is basically your point of attention, if I lose my point of attention here, as soon as a text come in, I'm over here. Now I done walked off responding to the text. The text went from a phone call went to something I see in my eye. I'm like, oh, before you know it, I done did 5 other things and I still got the damn water running. Or I still got the stove on. Or I still got the refrigerator open until I hear that ding, ding, to let me know. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta run back downstairs because all these things, guys, it can challenge you when it comes to task persistence. Write that down. A lot of times people are challenged with task persistence. The same way you build resiliency, you have to learn to build persistence. Not the ability to stick to a task until it's done. The ability to stick to a task until it's done is task persistence. And learning skill sets that help you stay focused on that even when it comes like some mindfulness, right? I'm talking about mindfulness. I'm talking about how you can actually between deep breathing and even in your meditation, you have to learn to be focused in because you want to strengthen your resilience, your ability to bounce back, and to change those habits of how you can not be focused in on the right task. And one of the things that I've learned is that sensor anchoring. Right? Anchoring myself sensor. That means what I've learned to do like this, AB. I'll turn the stove on and I'll say, you have to. Now, the thing is this: if you're a person challenged with ADHD or you have people in your family who are, you yourself got to learn to do it yourself, or you have to teach them to do it because it helps them to anchor it in with multiple sensors at the sensory systems at the same time. So let's say if I turn on the stove, and again, because I'm trying to be mindful with myself, I'm trying to learn how I can strengthen my awareness. When I turn on the stove, I'll say stove is on. And I'll point to the stove. So not only am I turning it on, I'm thinking it, I'm seeing it, and I'm saying it. And I'm anchoring it in with multiple sensory perceptions that I'm using simultaneously. Now, these things that I'm sharing with you because I study alongside other doctors and other people, not me being a doctor, but I study from them to learn how I can help myself. What the funny thing is, I was doing these things for myself only to find that several doctors who was talking about it, I'm like, man, that's what I do. But I didn't know that's what I was doing, Katrina. I just knew that I had to, when I was doing tasks, I had to speak the task out. I had to point and say the task out loud. I had to have multiple or multi-sensor memory traces that I would have. And I would do that purposely so I can remember to finish a task. Because most of the time right now, guys, when it comes to resiliency, we start to get frustrated because we realize that we're not even completing tasks. And we're not completing tasks. We're building bad habits, and then we're getting frustrated. So we're not able to bounce back and focus in on resiliency because we're getting so frustrated. And I want to teach you that when you're mindful and have a self-awareness, it can help you improve your focus. Now, whether that strategy is for you or someone around you, and the thing is this: not just a person who has ADHD, for the fact that there's so many things that can shift and change how you're showing up. You have to learn, the guys, that whether it's ADHD or just for the fact that stress, the fact that too many activities, too many things is coming at the same time can throw you off, and when it does, it can throw off how you are performing tasks. So when we're talking about building resiliency in the brain, I'm teaching you how to work on many things. There's so much more that we can talk about, but I'm just giving you something basic right now today to help you because I want to teach everybody because I'm watching everybody. I'm working with people. I'm talking to people, and as I'm talking, like, did you complete the? No, I didn't finish that yet. I was gonna get to that, Mr. Scott. I didn't get to that yet because I didn't. You know why? Because I already know why you didn't get to it. You didn't got so distracted with a bunch of other things. You say you're gonna do this right here, then all of a sudden 3 days later, Mr. Scott, I forgot. I called you 3 times, but what happened? No, you didn't. You didn't call me 3 times. You ain't called me not one time. You telling me now you try to reach out to me. You forgot because you got caught up with so many other tasks. Right? And right now, guys, we have to learn that as we're actually learning to build resiliency. Because as you're looking to be an entrepreneur, you're gonna have to learn how to have to deal with multiple tasks at the same time. And I know we might say multitask, but it's challenging to multitask when you have tasks at hand and then life and challenges, and every time there's a notification, you're switching your focus, and now you're switching off, so you can't even complete the task. And learning that this system in place can help you, and you stay focused on the system. Every time you're working on step 3 and something changed, you never get a chance to complete step 4 and 5. You're not completing the task. So as an entrepreneur, you're not completing your goals. Another thing that you can do is you can journal. I know we tell people that, but some people don't do it. But journaling allows you to, when you start to write down your thoughts and your feelings, it helps you increase self-awareness. It helps you to understand all your emotional triggers, all the things that you can do better. It helps you in your process. So again, we're talking about number one, mindfulness and self-awareness, because this vision mastery is understanding that it's the what you see in your mind's eye is your vision. And vision is what you envision. And if you envision yourself as an entrepreneur, and you envision yourself as a success, you envision yourself as earning a certain type of income or money or whatever it is, you have to learn to stretch your imagination past your situation. But in order to do that, you have to learn to build the right type of resiliency, not the resiliency that's going to cause you to be a runner up, but the one that's going to help you to become a champion. Now, number two, of course, when we're talking about building resilience in your brain and in changing your habits and things like that, is cognitive flexibility. Now, I want you to focus on that because cognitive flexibility, it helps you to challenge your assumptions. I want you to learn to challenge your assumptions. Like, so a lot of times we all say, well, I did this because I assume it's right. See, regular questions about your beliefs, the things that you think that, like right now, I tell people, I'll coach people and I mentor people all the time, right? And as I start to mentor people, even though we say mentorship is wisdom without waiting, her AB say it, and a mentor can give you strategies. Like this weekend, I was with Sed and Sean and Ian, and of course other people was there as well. But as we was talking, as I'm dropping knowledge, E is listening. I'm dropping knowledge, she's listening. Said dropping knowledge, she's listening. I'm dropping knowledge, and Said, who's masterful at what he does, is listening, paying attention, following the systems. He's dropping knowledge as we shift the focus to what he's excellent, what he's a master at. I'm shutting down. I'm shutting down my process of how I show up as a mentor, and I show up in mentee mode because he started talking about trading and other things. And because I don't want to be, well, I'm a mentor too, so I don't have to know. I don't want to talk to nobody else. I don't want nobody else in my ear. I don't want no third party assumptions about nothing. I only want my own assumptions about it. If you're masterful at it and you have the strategies, the systems, and the techniques, like I said, I want to do what you're doing. I want to focus in on what you're focusing on. I want to do exactly what you're doing so I don't put my own assumption. Well, I know what you're talking about because I know, see, back in the days, this how I learned how not to do that, right? Rebecca, there was a time when, and I told the story many times, I'm working alongside, I had a coach and a mentor, but he was really like my coach at the time. And we was in his lineage in the business. And and I had had many mentors over the time, over the years. So I had already had this assumption of how I am as a coach and a mentor. And even though this guy was successful in that particular company, in my mindset, I'm still like, well, he's younger, he got money, I'm gonna get there as well eventually. But right now, this is where I'm at and stuff. But I had great coaches and mentors in the past. So I didn't see him as a mentor, but he was like a coach, right? So as he's given things, I wasn't looking at him as a mentor, but he's really giving me strategies that help him have success with me. He was mentoring me. But as he's giving information, every time he's talking, like, right, 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 right. Yeah, 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 yeah. I know you're talking about, yeah, 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 yeah. I'm doing my assumptions. I'm assuming I already know I got all the damn answers, Rebecca. Right, 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 right. Yeah, 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 yeah. Somebody talking, instead of you like this going, hold on a second. Oh, that's good. I'm like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Let me tell you how I know it. Let me give you let me help you understand what I know. Let me tell you, I'm constantly over talking him because I want him to know that I know it too. My money's not reflective of his money, but yet I want to talk to a person who's making more money in the thing I want to do. And I'm like, yeah, 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 yeah. Cause let me tell you how, and let me tell you how I'm gonna do it. And let me tell you how that's so easy. And all you gotta do is, and after a while, AB, he was like, I can see, I can see he like you right here, Rebecca with your hand like in your head. He said, okay, well, he said, let me ask you. He said, if you already know it, why you ain't do it yet? Then I was like, damn, I'm sitting there doing all this talking. I already been in the business for a while. Why? If I'm talking, I know this and I got this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, 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 right. But let me tell you, let me always want to over talk, always want to give my assumptions. And I was like, damn. Now I could have been upset. I could let my ego get in the way, edging God out. Let me say, get my ego in the way. If somebody tell me something, oh, yo, you talking to me like that, you youngin? You know what I'm saying? I could let myself be in some nonsensical way. Well, how dare you talk to me like that? You know what I'm saying? I could have been it, but I was like, damn. Then the first thing I'm like, right, 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 right. I walk off and I was talking to myself, shut your damn mouth. Talking to me. I'm talking to me, shut your damn mouth. Jay, you talk too damn much. Oh, you want to run your damn mouth. Oh. I'm like biting my bottom lip because I'm mad at myself because I'm just, shut your damn mouth. MOUF. Not M-O, shut your mouth with an F, Jason. Talk too damn much. Think you know it all. You know what I'm saying? You don't know a damn thing about it because your bank account not reflecting what you talking about, you know. And so when I'm telling you that we're in this space, you have to have cognitive flexibility. You have to challenge your assumptions. You have to regularly question the beliefs and consider alternative viewpoints. Am I making sense? So when you start to go, and you challenge alternative viewpoints, and it can be done by exposing yourself to diverse options of things like that, right? But you engage in a healthy debate of things and things like that. But the thing is, you got to shut yourself off from what you assume, because if you assume a thing, but yet your income and your bank account is reflective of the things that you thinking that you got figured out, then you have to slow down and speed up. You have to have the right problem solving, and you have to approach problems with an open mind and be willing to different solutions. It's going to enhance your ability to adapt to new situations. All these things start to happen when you have cognitive flexibility. But you have to be open to it. That's what I said. It starts with number one, your mindfulness and self-awareness, to having this flexibility. Because if you want success and you want to go to the next level, you have to allow yourself to call yourself out. But as soon as somebody starts to even challenge, people don't like, they just don't like someone calling them out. They don't like accountability. And you have to be accountable to yourself and your bank account and your family and all this other stuff to say, you know what, you're right. And I've tried to help so many people, and I'll be coaching people, and I'll show them that I've done 30, 40, 50,000 in a week. And I give them a $50,000 a week strategy. But yet they'll still keep watching every live they can get on. Everybody's called. They following. They run around in circles with their head cut off. Like me myself, I don't want to listen to 50 people because it's going to be a conflict. Somebody's going to say something that in my mind is going to be like, but this person told me this and they did this, because everybody get there different ways. But when I have a mentor, I'm gonna follow the way my mentor teaches, and I don't want to be thrown off. I don't want a bunch of different things from everybody else, because if it's conflicting, and I know one of the six human needs that a person needs is certainty, and if that need for certainty is not met, it can lock out any other thing that you're looking to learn and what you can believe in. That's why number three, when it comes to the keys to building resiliency in your brain and your habits, is positive relationships. These relationships that you have is really important. When my mentor says that, Jason, whatever it is you want to become a champion in, don't ever ask someone who is not one how to become one. So I learned a long time ago to stop asking Junebug and Rufus and Cephas, and trust me, I get it. We just have conversations with people that have conversations, but I don't want to just have random. Just no. I want to know. Teach me that so I can do it. The first time I was able to do six, seven, $8,000 a week, I was working with a gentleman who was actually doing like $500,000 a year, and I'm like, yo, bro, what are you doing, man? We doing the same thing. I'm not even doing a six-figure income. You're doing like $500,000. So what are you doing? He's like, I give you pointers. I'm like, I don't want pointers. Pointers is your thinking and my thinking. My thinking got me broke. I'm tired of using my thinking. Teach me that. Teach me exactly what you're doing, the way you're doing it. I took him to lunch. Lunch turned to dinner. I'm asking questions. He's giving me all the strategy, all the things. I'm asking more questions. I'm questioning because I want to know exactly how he's doing it, why people responding, what they saying, all this other stuff. As soon as he's done, I said, I'm doing that. I'm start that tonight. Within 30 days, I was doing 8,000 a week. When prior to that, I could barely maintain 1,000 a week. Why? Because I did exactly as a mentor, a coach, what he said he was doing, how he said he was doing it. But it was the positive relationships that I had with him, but also in our organization, and the fact that we know that the Leadership Academy, and again, through Leadership Academy, I have other networks that I build with myself, Thrive Mentorship, and other things that I'm building simultaneously. That's like just groups of people that I work with. The mentorship, this right here is how I work with you guys in this space. With other things that I do is in the world space and stuff of how I coach and what I'm working on and what I'm doing. But it's all the same. But it's building a support network that you can cultivate the right relationships. See, we had time that we invested over the weekend was cultivating great relationships. Wasn't it said, wasn't it dope this weekend, bro? Wasn't it dope, said?
Yes, it was. It was dope.
Like in real life, it was good. Like in real life, man, we had a great time. It was saying we got matter of fact, we was out right, and then Sean was like, Sean asked me a question. He was like, "Yeah, do you want to eat?" I'm like talking over him. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go eat. I'm gonna want some seafood." So like seafood. Yeah, that's what we gonna get. What you talking about? So we talking about eating. Said he's like, we gonna go right now. I'm like, yeah. He said, I know, I got the perfect spot. Then Sean was like, yo, that's where he likes to go all the time. So we went to a great spot and it was some great seafood. But while we was there, we having a great time. We having a conversation. We ride in the car. You know what I'm saying? It said is a beautiful car that he has. You know what I'm saying? We just have a great time with the group, with the organization. And then of course it's paper on the table. So as I'm training, I can't help Rebecca. We talk, I'm writing things down and sit on his side, writing on the paper and stuff like this. And people looking all around and learning and things like that. But we was building we're building towards the community, Katrina. We're building towards something amazing. We're building towards a lifelong connection that we're looking to have with people, not just for the moment, but for a lifetime. We're looking when we're if we're let's say we partners in a McDonald's. We're not trying to be partners in McDonald's for a week, 2 weeks. for the life of, for the life of that McDonald's that's on that corner for the next 10, 20, 30 years, we're looking to be partners in this industry. There's people who had been partners for decades in this industry. So when we're doing this, we're doing the work that we're doing, we're building a lifestyle and a lifetime together, because we can make money in one way, then start to, with the right group of people, you can actually start to invest in other things and do other things together. It's not, I'm saying, if it's, and again, it's like one of the wealthiest people in the world is Warren Buffett, right? And I read a book a long time ago, right? And it was like, in some places, one of these books over here, it's a little small book, and they was talking about how Warren Buffett, this like way back, when I think when he like started I think Harshad something group that he got, something like that, right? This investment group he has. But what he said, they said, you hear Warren Buffett. He said, but with Warren Buffett, there's a group of, it was back then, it was multimillionaires, and to this day probably billionaires as well. But back then, there's a group of multimillionaires that nobody heard of, but they were a group of investors that they all was taking investment advice from Warren. Yeah, Berkshire Hathaway, exactly. All right. And it started off with him just giving a small group of people some advice because he was having success. Warren, what you doing? Put me on, bruh. So he started putting them on. Of course, they ain't stay, bruh. That's I'm gonna talk to where I come from. He's like, put me on, bruh. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, all right, he was like, yeah, I got you, son. I got you. So Warren put them on. All right. And then as he put them on, they became they become like the Buffett millionaires, and probably today called the Buffett billionaires. A lot of them are now in Berkshire Hathaway and things like that. That meant it went from people just having a conversation, and it went from the conversation to people starting to grow and starting to learn new strategy and starting to build and invest in other things. Am I making sense? So that's why, as we're working together, as I'm coaching you guys, it's knowing that building positive relationships that support and cultivate the right relationship, and support a good network is important as you're building friends and colleagues, and that can provide support and encouragement. And even in our chat group, everybody's supporting, everybody's adding, and I'm always telling people, communicate inside of it and communicate openly. All these things is important when it comes to positive relationships. Share your thoughts, share your feelings, all other things. You know what I'm saying? With trusted individuals, gain perspective, emotional support. All these things are important. They're by design, that these things that we're doing with the Leadership Academy, we're doing things that I do with Thrive Mentorship, things that some of you guys are doing with other organizations that you're building. That's the reason why we look to have these positive relationships. Number four, and again, we're talking about expanding on building resilience, expanding on your brain and the habits. Number one, mindfulness and self-awareness. Number two, cognitive flexibility. Number three, positive relationships. Number four, purpose and meaning. Purpose and meaning. I want you guys to learn that when it comes to purpose, when it comes to meaning, you got to really set some goals. I know we talk about it, but people just don't do it. You just showing up, you become a wandering generality, just showing up in the world and just floating around like a cork on the ocean. And wherever you land, you land. But you have to set goals. You have to have clear, defined, meaningful goals that align with your values and align with your passions, that gives you direction and gives you motivation. All these things are focused. And many times, even though like this is a vision mastery, and I tell people your vision pushes you, right? And your purpose pulls you. Something about the purpose, it just pulls you forward, and you just, no matter what's going on, even when you kind of be limp, you could be limp and your purpose just still keeps pulling you forward because you tired and you drained out. Vision can topple you over. Your vision can be blurred. Your sight can distort your vision. Things you see can throw you off from your vision momentarily. But your purpose, when you know that you're getting up purposely, you is by design. And you focus on the design, because the design is the goals that you set, a clear path to follow. These things, it becomes strong mentally, and you have to learn to reflect on your purpose and regularly revisit and refine all this other stuff. Because we may start off one thing, so my purpose is this, but as you start to get better at what you're doing, Start doing more things. Start talking to more people. Other things may start to show up, and you may start to shift some things around. But you have to have. I mean, what is it? Even if you're not, well, what is purpose? Well, Google it. Google and say, what does purpose really mean? Because I can say it to you, but it has to. What does it mean? It's not just the goals you're doing, not just a goal, not just, well, my goal is to do this money. My goal is to get a house. Why? House for what? My goal is to have generational wealth. Generational wealth for what? For who? Because people say these things, but then as soon as life gets in the way, what happened to you? Well, I couldn't get on the call. I couldn't show up no more. What happened? Life got in the way, so I got distracted. Well, if it was your purpose, no, you wouldn't be distracted by some of the things that you say is your purpose. Because evidently it's not just a purpose, it was just a thought. It was just might have been a goal, and because you're not head fast on a goal, you was like, it's my goal to do this right here, but you didn't put no many steps to getting your goal accomplished. You said, this is my goal, but how am I going to complete the goal? You didn't set a clear path to follow. All these things are important when it comes to your purpose and your meaning. That's why you got to sit back and reflect. Sit back and think. What is it that you really want? Why do you really want that? Where are you really looking to go in your life at this moment? What's been holding you back? If that's what you want, why haven't you done it yet? This is happening. You have to learn to become resourceful. And with that resourcefulness, when something shows up, you have to learn to stay the course. Gandhi said, when you're fighting for a just cause, the right people tend to pop up, materialize, even when it's dangerous. And when the right people tend to pop up, and that means you have to learn that when you ask for a thing, the way will be made, but a lot of times the way will be made by the next step to take. And the next step may require you to do something that wasn't part of your plan, because you didn't really have a plan, but you may have had a plan, an end game plan, but you know how to get there. So the next steps start to show up, and the steps many times show up in a person. Someone may give you something, an alternative way of doing something. They may offer you another opportunity in a way of if that can help you along this right, because you have nothing going on. And I find that when these things show up, people, instead of staying focused on it, they'll stop and start something else. Stop and start. But no, you don't have to stop and start something else. This may be a path on that's in alignment with what you have going on. That person that offers you this could be in that step. But many times when it shows up, like me, I recognize when things show up, I jump on it quickly. Like Rebecca, we had this conversation recently, right? We was talking about project that we can work on, another project work on together, and we can work on some things. And as it comes up, I'm like, let's do it right now. Let's do it. Let's do it in the process. Let's get it, because I've learned that when certain things come together, it must be what has to happen the way it has to happen that way. It has to be if it comes out with many of us knowing that many of us got to do it. It ain't just, well, I'm gonna figure it out and I'll let you. In my mindset, the way I operate, if it happens to be that way, it must happen that way for a purpose. It must be designed for me to be in that mix with this process. So therefore, I don't like this. I always just step in on it, and I'll be like, let's. And then the greatest thing is when it does that, and people do it with me, it starts to come together in a way that was unexpected, but it happened the way it's supposed to happen. And I just learned to trust that process. But again, I can't get people to trust what I trust. They have to just learn to trust that process for themselves. That when, like for us, all of us come together, when I say this is us and how we do it, you got to trust that this moment is designed. It's designed to be purposeful for us to elevate together, Coach AB. Elevate together, Rebecca. Elevate together, Cedric. Elevate together, Katrina. Elevate. It's designed for all of us to elevate together. Not just standing to the sideline, Katrina, watch somebody else elevate. No, we have a chance to do it together. Am I making sense? So I'm just saying it, guys, because when you learn to recognize that what you have your hands on, exactly what you asked for, what you prayed for, what you was needing in your life, and then you take action on it. Not in a week from now, 2 weeks, and let me work on some other things. No, do it. Because it's I just trust it, man. I learned that when certain things come up, it must be like even like going to Savannah this weekend. He was talking about going, what he was doing. I said, you know what? Gonna be in Savannah. I'm 4 hours away. I'm gonna come. Then said, I said, I can get to Savannah. Instead, we're like, well, I tell you what, then let's do something. And I'm like, yo, it's supposed to be that way because I'm like, I'm checking my calendar. I'm open that weekend. I can come to you. I'm like, okay, let's do it. And it was amazing. But watch what happens from that. Watch. I already know what's going to happen from that. I already know. I already just know. Then plus, I know it also helps people to understand they have the right people around them. It helps to strengthen your certainty, man. Because sometimes you're doubtful, you're wondering, you're hearing how people are going to be there and things they're going to do. But sometimes when they with you be like, okay, okay, I can really, yeah, I've been needing this. And everybody I was talking with over the weekend, I was like, yo, I needed this. I needed this conversation. I needed this time. I needed to see. I need this hitting. You were saying this on these Zooms, but I need to see. Now it's a whole nother thing right now. And that's why I want you guys to know, man, that we have an opportunity to be something great together. But to make that happen, number 5, the last thing I want you to understand, let me check the time, is to focus on your self-care and stress management. All these things when it comes to resilience and habits, that's why these things are important. Yeah, you got to establish routine, and you got to have a daily routine that includes time for relaxation, time for exercise, time for hobbies. It helps to maintain a balanced lifestyle. The way, especially if we're in a space where we're focusing on health and wellness and things like that, we have to find time for self-care to help with stress management and other things like that. You got to learn some stress reducing techniques and saying things, whether it's something like yoga or tai chi or muscle relaxation or whatever it is or something like myself, like like I was telling Sid, like while we was there, I saw Sid, he had pulled out his gun. I'm like, yo, I said I try with this all the time because part of my thing said when I get to my relaxation mode time, I'm like, I gotta be like, it's a part of my routine. I gotta have it to where I can have some time for myself. I can't just keep going, 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 going. I gotta find time. And then sometimes when people reaching out, I'm like, I can't answer the phone calls yet. I can't talk yet because I already know if I start talking, I'm going to get off my task. If I start answering texts and calls, I'm going to get off the task. And the things I talk to you guys and train you about at the very beginning of the call is going to happen. I'm going to lose myself. I'm not going to stay control. So therefore, sometimes I don't answer the calls until I'm ready because I already know as soon as I answer this, I'm going to forget everything else that I was supposed to be doing. And now I got nothing done. And even this weekend, getting together this weekend, spending time with the people this weekend, that was a part for me is self-care. Because like we was with the guy, we was at lunch, we was at dinner at the dinner table. The guy was like, man, I love this right here, man. I want to be a part of this right here. It just feels so good. I'm like, yo, I said, yo, bro. I said, we just chilling. What we doing business, we having a great time, but we just chilling. He's like, I know. I like this, man. I'm like, I know. because it's stress, it's just a stress relieving time. We not in this mode. Yeah, we're still doing calls. I'm doing Zoom call. I'm like, hey, what's going on? What you doing? I'm over here right now. I got a customer. Like, you got a customer, girl. We having a great time while we still eating and chilling and exactly right, Rebecca, feeling the vibes. But that was still a part of me getting together. Wasn't just for the business. It was for that's the part me connecting with the community and being a part of that helps me with that. It helps me to take pressure off and stresses off and things like that. So this is the deal. The last thing I'm gonna say to you guys, I know that after COVID, it has shifted and changed a lot about how people show up. Some people have gotten used to where they don't really show up around a lot of people anymore. They don't like being in groups and things like that. And now let me say this, that's what they said, but nowadays a lot of people are getting back into that. They're going to concerts. I saw a concert there was packed front to back. People won't show up for a moment for business to change their life, but they'll show up at a concert and change the life of the person who's their favorite artist. You didn't help them make 40,000, 50,000, 80, $100,000 that day by you showing up for them that day, but you won't even show up to learn how to do 100,000 for yourself. It's the craziest thing. But the fact of the matter is, people still show up, but they'll show up if their environment is conducive to what they want. And if we create the right environment, the right group of people that people can belong to, they want to be around for, they man, they'll go to the ends of the earth to be around you, to be around the organization. The same way they'll, like, if you say there's an event that's happening, they'll travel from miles around just to watch you burn, because the energy is just something they want to be a part of. And that's what we're creating right now. So guys, I want to share those things with you guys when it comes to vision mastery. Because there's so many ways we can go with these calls. It just is. But I know the resiliency has to be something that people focus in, because people, they give up so easy. They stop and they stop and they stop, and they have to understand that's like, belief is a muscle, resiliency is a muscle. Once you do things, you can build resiliency. But then once you go hard to get the resiliency going, you have to, there's resiliency maintenance. Once you learn strategies of calming yourself down and getting back up and falling, getting back up, there's things you got to do. And I gave you maintenance things today, things to be able to, some of you guys have built resiliency. Many of us are in our 30s, 40s, and 50s, and even 60s. We've learned strategies to build levels of resiliency. Now I want to make sure that you pay attention to what it is that you've been able to apply to your life. And if you haven't gotten it yet, I gave you some tools and strategies to actually strengthen that. But just know, guys, from this point right here, we have to really come together as a strong organization, as a group, as a team of people. The transition from where we have been to where we choose to go, and help other people be a part of something amazing, guys. Because people need it. They want something big for themselves, and they want to be a part of something amazing. And you guys have created that as an organization. So as we wrap up this call, guys, I have any leader who has any comments, statements, anything you want to be able to share about resiliency, about the call we shared tonight. Just open your mic real quick. Don't wait for nobody else. Be the first to pop open your mic and share.
I'd like to share. Thank you, Mr. Scott. You have so much knowledge and information for us. And one of the things that I would like to share is that I work full-time in a career in corporate. Okay, I've been doing it for many years. I make really good money. I'm very grateful. I'm a leader. I do very well. And the business has always I've always said that it's part-time. My part-time is business, or is my home-based business. And it's interesting because I've realized that you cannot do home base and be consistent part-time. I can do home base part-time, but I need to be consistent all the time. And that is one thing that I've really been working on and honing in on the last 2 weeks. And I'm just sharing this because I know many people do work full time and they have a part-time business, but you can share it full time. You can work it full time. We are walking billboards. And so when I started thinking about this, I just started realizing that I need to quit shutting down and using my career as my full-time job and giving my part-time profit, things that whatever I have left. Okay. At the end of the day, this is what I got left. At the end of the day, this is how I can start switching it. So I have been switching it. I have been just really turning this around. And Coach, you have been helping me kind of see this because it wasn't there. I didn't get it until I started really working with you and seeing, like, what am I doing? I am still putting my career that is very well, very good. I'm very grateful, but I keep putting it on the forefront and putting my part-time gig, or whatever you want to call it, on the back end. So now I'm switching them. I'm flipping them. And it's not easy, but when you have goals and dreams, it's never going to be easy, right? You're always going to have to give it a little bit more than so I just want to share that because a lot of people think that, oh, this is my side gig. Stop thinking that way. Stop thinking that way. I can't believe it's taken me this long to get this, but I got it.
Yeah.
I'm moving and I wanted to share it because Damn it.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that, lady. And that's a common thing, like I said. But the thing is this:
Oh,
as people start to move forward, Rebecca, and what we're doing, like I said, there's always like a unveiling. It just takes it's like layers of an onion. It just people in different places, different spaces, different times. I
right.
can say the same thing to several people, and some people catch it quick, some people catch it later. But through the consistency of it, because what happens is you hear it, but as you hear it and you stay focused in the moment of what's something that was new to you right then, you may miss the next three or four, five things, and it's cool because your mind is still focused on the first thing. So you were still focused on the first and second thing. That by the time the third thing, you like, did you talk about it before? Yeah, we talked about it before. How come I didn't hear it before? Because you was focused on one and two, and it's fine. You have to get one and two together, and by the time three, you like the veil comes down. You're like, damn. Because I always tell people, home base just mean you based out of the home. Don't mean you in the house all day long. Don't mean that you wait till you get home to do it. That's the business you just got.
Right.
You got it based at the damn house. But that means but I still got to go out the house to go do calls and meetings and connect with people and sell products and things like that. So that means I can do that all day long. I can do that in between times, break time. When you make it a full time thing, because as an entrepreneur, you full time as an entrepreneur, because again, if you at the work and somebody send you a text and say, "Hey, what's your link?" You're not gonna be, "Hey, wait, I don't do no other business till I get home at 9 o'clock." No, here's that link. You're gonna shoot them the damn link for them to purchase the product, and while you at your job, you still make money from your business. So that means you have a full time thing, and while you at the job, you still be thinking about it. So if you think about it full time, it's full time. So I
Mhm.
don't. So don't. You have to shift and wait. Just like I said, just know that home base just means
Um,
you don't have
hi,
a
yeah, what's on this?
traditional brick and
Oh,
mortar.
sorry.
You
I'm on a
no.
Zoom
Hey,
meeting.
Nikki, you on the Zoom, Nikki? That's what you say. You on the Zoom? Okay, okay. Anyway, hey,
Yes.
Mr. Mike, young lady. So the thing is, so as you're based out of the home, it's fine. But now I'm glad that that has been something that has had unveiled itself to you, and you may have helped somebody else on the call as well. So thank you so much for that share tonight. Thank you. Anybody else have any last thing they want to share before we're done? I know we're at the 10 o'clock hour. If you do, you got three. Go ahead, Coach JB.
Hey, Mr. Scott. This is Coach AB. I'm gonna be real. Yeah, just real quick. Thank you, Rebecca, for sharing. I just wanted to caveat and piggyback on that real quick. You said something so pivotal about my home base, and something that I've known and I've been putting back into place is it's not my home base business, it's my business. When people ask me, what do you do? I have a health and wellness business. I also coach people to elevate their health and their lifestyle. When we take out the home base and realize when we go to our prospective jobs, we are building someone else's dreams. I am in the classroom building the city in my state's dream goals to educate children to have a free education. So I'm manifesting somebody else's dream regardless. Yes, it was my dream, and I knew I was called to be a teacher, but I also know I was called to be an entrepreneur. So we stop discounting our purpose, our assignment, making it small because we have a job. Don't get me wrong, I'm grateful and thankful for it. But we have to be as proud and talk about that thing that we have in our hands as we are about going to work wherever we work. And I'm so excited for you that you realize, look, not to say your job isn't important, but so are your goals. So be as bold as you need to be for your career. Do it for your business. Because I could tell you, because of TLC, I've been able to see other businesses birth from it. So just keep walking 10 toes down in what you know you were called to do. Back to you.
Thank you so much, young lady. I appreciate you for just sharing that. And all the things you shared, as well as Rebecca, is really important as we wrap up the call. Because again, once people just know that, just make it a part of your life. It's a part of your life. It's a part of who you are. And when you make it a part of who you are, you're going to attract it. Because if you allow yourself to be open, and you're going to start attracting people who are open, allow yourself to be in expectancy, you're going to start, people will start to find you. don't figure you gotta keep starting and stopping and turning it off. No, you just keep dreaming about it, keep thinking about it, keep it in your mindset. It even help you, but do it in such a way where it even helps you show up better at your. Don't do it in a way where it makes you negative about your job, because you need the job in the interim. So let it enhance it. Let it gives you something else that. Because before, people was to be upset, they would get off of work and be like, man, I gotta go to work tomorrow. I can't." So you can't even enjoy yourself at home. But now you can enjoy yourself and knowing that you got something hopeful. When you go to work the next day, you're like, man, I got this going on. I can't wait. So now, even at your job, something shifts and something happens that's different. Your post be different. How you showing up is different. The way people see you is different. People are like, what you got going on? You got this thing about you. What's happening? And they'll be intrigued. You got me? Because we normally don't want to be work. We normally don't, the people that we a lot of times work with, we don't want to know them after work a lot of times. Some people don't even want to know that people after work. They just don't. But when you become the right person, even in that space, people are like, what you got going on, man? Something about you is different. You know what I'm saying? And you may find that the people that you thought wasn't going to be the ones around, like Jack and John Licari. They worked side by side on the thing, and Jack was doing his thing, and John's like, I ain't got no time for that. But as Jack kept showing up all the time, hopeful and believing, John was like, hmm. And before you know it, they went on to go build something where they did $1 billion in sales. And what if you did the same thing with somebody that you wasn't expecting, that was in the same space, but only because of how you've been showing up in that environment? So, guys, I appreciate you guys for logging on to our Sunday Night Vision Mastery Call. You guys have been amazing as always. Always remember, giving the sum total of all your decisions, you cannot change who you are, but giving new life, new vision, new unity, you can change who you become. So with that, today, not tomorrow, but like right now, let's all just become. Open your mics and say good night, everybody. See you guys soon.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night.